Hi, everyone. Thanks, Julian, for the fantastic introduction. It really puts me on a pedestal, and it's a bit intimidating, particularly with that behind me, isn't it? I mean, there's a big chance I could really mess this up. So, in fact, I will talk about a couple of my experiences with failure, but on the most part, it's not really much about me. This talk is about all of us. It's about something we all experience. And, you know, I can hopefully gladly say that I'm not an expert in this yet. I'm not an expert in failure. So let's get to it. You know, failure, the F word, fail. It's 4 letters long. It's not the word you're thinking about. It starts with F. And, you know, it weighs us down. We don't like talking about it. We don't really like doing it in public. We're scared of doing it. You know, this talk alone is, you know, one of those experiences for me. I'm scared of failing. Another thing about failure is, particularly in Gibraltar, we like talking about it when it happens to other people. I mean, people love hashiando, don't they? It happens all the time. But it weighs us down. It holds us back. And single-handedly, it's probably the biggest killer of potential, of your potential. So fail, that 4-letter word. It's a real thing. So let's take you back to a time when you failed. Think of the time where you fell flat in your face. How did it feel? How did you feel? You probably felt embarrassed, didn't you? You probably had big expectations. And that's the type of failure I want to tap into today. It's failure where you put yourself on the line, failure through action. So let's give a clear example of the types of failure. I think there are 2 main ones. There's failure through inaction, and then there's failure through action. So let's talk about failure through inaction and use myself as an example. So I wanted to come down today, give a talk of value. And I hope I'm doing that so far. But I would have failed through inaction had I not even put my name forward for the lottery to be picked to do this. That's failure through inaction, when you don't even try, you don't even put your name down. Failure through action is what I'm doing now. Well, I hope I'm not failing. Right? But the point being is that I've worked, you know, all the way to this point, and you know, if I do fail now, this is failing through acting. You do everything to this point. So that's the failure you need to worry about. That's a failure that helps you get better, helps you improve constantly. So let's go back to that time you failed and how you felt. You can see yourself in a third person's perspective, can't you? We've all failed. I mean, my biggest failure was a couple of years ago when I failed one of the most important exams of my life. And I felt embarrassed because I threw everything at that. I threw everything at trying to be a lawyer, and I failed one of the exams, and I was like, what am I going to do now? Oh, you know, what do I tell people? What am I going to be next? And you feel ashamed when you fail. You don't know who to turn to. And the worst bit is you don't know what the future looks like. And again, particularly in Gibraltar, people talk about it. People talk about your failures bigger than your successes usually. You know, you always find out if someone's cheated on someone, someone's unfortunately not got their house, someone's failed at university, someone's lost their job. That news travels fast here, and that can hold you back because you're scared of failing. It's a society we're in where we're conditioned from a young age to learn, you know, getting things right the first time is awarded. You achieve through just getting things right the first time. So when you don't get things right the first time, you're punished. Think about it in school, the amount of little red X's you got, and you felt terrible, you felt like crap. You know, that's how you're conditioned to grow up, and as you keep growing up, that keeps happening. So why am I talking about bad feelings of failure? Shouldn't this be motivational? You know, everyone else here today is talking about their experiences and how they're good, how they're successful, how they can be inspiring. Well, failure can be the biggest value in betterment, in improvement. And I have no doubt that most of you here are ambitious. I mean, the fact alone that you're willing to sit on a Saturday, just gone afternoon, Shows that you're willing to learn. You're willing to be better people. You're willing to improve. So you deserve to be able to improve. But you can't let failure hold you back. You need to persevere. You need to keep moving forward. And the key to being the best version of you and having the best community, and this is very idealistic, but maybe even a better world, is by failing more. You need to go out to fail more, all of us, myself included. I wish I failed more so I could be better. I mean, I just started a new job a few months ago, and I really had to, you have to, that's how you learn. You have to fail more. And it sounds crazy, I know. But there's 3 quick tips, that I can give you on how you can use failure to your advantage. So tip number 1, success looks a lot like failure. Success isn't all about those green fields, champagne parties, where you get to your goal. Getting to where you want to be looks a lot like falling flat in your face time and time again. And this is proven. The biggest achievers in this world are the biggest failures. The biggest failures. I'll just give you a few examples. Bill Gates, his first company, went belly up. What happened? He went on to found Microsoft. Michael Jordan dropped from his high school basketball team. What happened? He cried in his room, picked himself up, and then he went on to become the greatest basketball player in history, arguably. Thomas Edison, they say it took him 1,000 times to get the light bulb right. 1,000 times, that's failing 1,000 times to get where you want to be. Another one, J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter. She was living on benefits, and she was turned down by 12 publishers. She went on to write Harry Potter, and look at it now, look at it now. And finally, Walt Disney. He was working in a newspaper, and he was fired from his job. And he was told, "You're not creative enough." Imagine how he felt. Like, I'm a guy with some good ideas, but you're going to sack me, okay. And he failed loads of times. He's got loads of stories where, the cartoons didn't make it. And he went on to find what he did, and look at Walt Disney, look at the Disney enterprise now. So success looks a lot like failure. My next point, number 2, is that success and failure aren't binary. It's not about yes or no or the ones and zeros. It's not totalitarian. Achievement is all about trying to be better. So instead of setting out to be X, you need to try and be 10X. You need to be 10 times better. Because if you go to seek out your ultimate potential and you're willing to fall flat in your face, even if you fall, if you pick yourself up, you'll still be a bit further forward than you were before. So it's not about failing or total failing or total achievement. It's about the bits to get there and persevering, because that's what makes you achieve. That's what makes you better versions of you. And last but not least, it's knowing when to quit. It's knowing when to, not to give up, but knowing when enough is enough. And this isn't just about in failure. It's also about when you achieve. You can't really get anywhere if you're happy with mediocrity, if you're happy where you are. You need to keep pushing yourself. And with failure, you have to be open to the fact that your next opportunity might come from your failure. I mean, it happened to me again. I failed, and when I had to go and resit that exam I was talking about, I was in London at the time, and I got offered a job when I was there because I applied for it, obviously. But had I not been in London at the time, I wouldn't have got that interview, and I wouldn't have ended up working for an awesome company with some great people. So the point there is that success can come out and opportunity can come out of any failure. You always have to keep looking for the benefit in every doubt. So that's it. Success looks a lot like failure. Failure and success aren't binary. And finally, you need to know when to quit. So why fail? To improve, to better yourself. But then again, what do I know? Thank you.